Usually, thank God it's Friday, and I'm excited because the weekend is here. And of course, this is like the last episode for the month. Of course, from Monday we'll start a new month, and of course, Women's Can I Stay Here. Remember that we'll run from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, Monday through Friday. And if you want to join us, you can actually go through our Facebook page and our Twitter page at Galaxy Television. You watch all live programs, and of course, we're streaming this one live too. Also, you can join, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel, Galaxy TV News and Galaxy TV Comedy. It's so interesting to be here. Today we're talking about social connections amongst women. A lot of people still don't understand this. A lot of people believe that men should be the ones to have the connection. They should have the big boys on the sittings. They should sit amongst men. No, women too should sit among queens, and you can also sit among kings. I think the times have changed, and so things can actually, work like that. But anyways, before I introduce my guest, I want us to go on a short break, and right after that short break we'll get into a discussion for today, which is social connections amongst women. And of course, I'll be introducing my Zoom guest to you. Stay with us. All right, so yes, you're welcome back. Okay, like I said, we're talking about social connections among women. First, I would like to introduce my first Zoom guest. Her name is Nkechi Emmanuel Layode. She's a relationship and family life specialist. She's a certified counselor, an author, a speaker, and a teacher. Yes, she's on, and she's on the show, ready to join in. And her brand name basically is Sejanel, so I'll be referring to her as Sejanel for the rest of the program. Sejanel, can we have her in the screen? Good morning. Excuse me. Can we have Sejanel on the screen, please? All right, let me introduce my second guest. Hopefully, she's already joined in. Her name is Success Olaleye Asuyo. She is the program director of Food Engine Initiative, which is FAGI, and she's a teen coach. She's an empowerment advocate. Good morning, Success. Can you hear me? Good morning. How are you? Can we have a Zoom guest, please? Okay, I think we're trying to get them in. While we're waiting for that, let's quickly take 8 tips on how to avoid internet addiction. Of course, a lot of us are so used to internet. We're always on our phone 24/7. You even go for a dinner party, you go for a wedding, we are on Snapchat, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we are vlogging, we forget to connect and socialize with people. And the reason why I'm bringing this is because we need that social connection. Yes, there's a social media, but you need that social connection in person. At the same time, while you're doing the ones on your phone, you still need to have this connection with people. So if you're so addicted with your phone that even when you go out on a date with your spouse or with your husband, both of you are always on the phone. You barely have to talk to yourself. Even when you're home, you barely talk to your kids or you talk to yourself. You're always on your phone checking out things. I think this is another thing you can listen to, so to help you reduce or stay away or make sure you are no more an addict when it comes to internet and social media. So let's go see the 8 tips on how to avoid or detach yourself from being addicted to the internet. We'll be right back after that one.
Tips to avoid internet addiction. Acknowledge the problem. Seeing an addiction problem for what it is can be one of the most difficult internet addiction symptoms to overcome, the emotional surges that comes with being online trigger. Consider professional help. Considering professional help means being open to the possibility of seeking assistance from a qualified therapist or other mental health professional who is trained in treating internet addiction. Create a schedule. One of the ways of how to break internet addiction is to create a schedule. Creating a schedule refers to planning and organizing your time in advance so that you can balance your internet use with other activities and responsibilities. Practice mindfulness. Another solution to internet addiction is to practice mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness means paying attention to the present moment with curiosity and openness without judgment or distraction. Set device-free times. Setting device-free times refers to choosing certain periods of the day or week when you do not use any tech devices such as smartphones, computers, tablets, or televisions. Identify triggers. Identifying triggers means recognizing the situations, emotions, or thoughts that make you want to use the internet excessively or compulsively. Seek support. Seeking support means reaching out to friends, family, support groups, or professionals for help and encouragement in dealing with internet addiction. It involves sharing one's struggle and challenges related to excessive internet use and actively seeking guidance, understanding, and assistance from others during the recovery process. Find alternative activities. To find alternative activities means to engage in other hobbies, interests, or tasks that can provide you with enjoyment, fulfillment, or relaxation without using the internet.
Back where you saw that is how you can actually avoid being on your phone 247 and outside. You need that connection as a woman. It's not just, like I said, it's not only the men that need those, amazing big numbers and contact on the phone. And when you have them, please, your phone is not meant to just have those contacts. Your phone is not meant to just only chat with them. You need to meet with them in person. You need to share ideas. You need to talk with them. If they have some hangout, or you have a hangout, or you want to take them out, I think those are what breeds that connection, that friendship. Then you never know who could help you, who could introduce you to someone that will be able to help you in your career, in your job, in maybe you're an entrepreneur. There's some freebie, like all this empowerment program and all of that. And we women, we need a lot of empowerment, and that is why this program is actually here, so that we can empower ourselves. But anyways, so I'm just going to talk to my Zoom guest now. Can we have our Zoom guest on the screen, so I don't do much of the talking? Can we have our Zoom guest on the screen? Good morning, Sir Janelle, and good morning, Success. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Blossom.
All right, thank you very much for joining in. My first question, in fact, let me just give this question first to Success, because I know Success is really all about women having good friends and making sure that they make use of that friend, and it is friend supporting friend. It is women supporting women. So I just want to ask, what do you think is the most challenging part of forming and maintaining relationships when it comes to other women and also their social connections? Like, you have a connection with somebody, you met the person at a gathering or something, you were introduced to the person. Now, what do you think is the most challenging part that women have to actually maintain such friendship and such connections?
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's amazing, it's delightful to be here. Okay, so I think one of the challenges that women encounter when it comes to maintaining social connection has to do with the fact that many of us do not even understand the importance of building network, the importance of building strong, valuable relationships. Some people will just take somebody's card, take somebody's phone number, and just drop it in their bag, and they'll be like, anytime, any day, this person is just there in contact. No, forming a strong social connection is way beyond just keeping someone's contact on your phone or keeping someone's contact card in your bag. It's way more than that. You have to really give value to actually get value. So one of the major challenge I think many people encounter is because they have the mentality or the mindset of, I only want to take. You see, so when you only have the mentality of, I only want to take, I only want to take, you do not give value. You're really going to have very strong social connections and have such valuable social connections that will help you go far in life. So you must have the mindset of, I'm also here in this social connection, whether it's partnership, whether it's family, whether it's friendship. I have the social connection to also give value. So I think that's one of the challenges. The fact that people do not have the right mentality or the right mind was strengthening social connection. That would be it for me.
Thank you very, very much for that one. Okay, still talking about social connections among women, and I'm talking about women to women now, not the men. We're not going over to the men. I want to ask Sejinel this: have you ever experienced any challenges relating to gossip or rumors, spread by other women? And if you have, this is your social connections, people that you sit out with, people you hang out with, people you share ideas with, but you tend to hear one or two rumor, one or two gossip. How did you handle such a challenge where that has to do with women, basically? This one is for Sejinel, please.
All right, thank you so much for the question, Blossom, and hello to you. Success, hello to our audience and viewers as well. So for me, the experience that you just shared is something that has happened maybe years back. I really cannot remember it happening in the years where I started to grow in self-discovery. And this is being honest. I don't need to come here to form anything. It's just my own reality. I know it's different for different people. So talking about jealousy, somebody said, somebody did not say, in secondary school, that's years ago that I'm thinking about. This is because as I started to grow in my own self-awareness, I also started to attract people that are like-minded like me. And one of my core values, what would be the shared values of the kind of friends that I started to attract and be interested in, and we both started to be interested in each other, female friends. Those sort of things are not involved in the mix of things that, maybe you say one thing behind the person or whatnot. Now, it is not impossible that one or two people have said things that I may be unaware of. But in terms of it being a culture of the sort of friendship, like somebody said this, somebody did not say this, I'm still not aware of any up until today. And this question is important, which I'm also going to drive to the other point, because many people do not want to get into connections because this is their reality. They're at a space where, they just open up a small connection, just open up their homes, just open up about their businesses. Somebody is already gossiping, somebody is already jealous. And so people are like, hey, I better be on my own and just have my own private space and enjoy things with my spouse or other parts of members of my family, or I just stay by myself rather than connect with people, because this connection is causing so much hurt. So I think the solution to that would be reevaluating what your own core values are. You see, the thing, Blossom, is even where we meet our friends matter. Where do you meet the kind of friends that you are hanging out with? What were they talking about when you met them? What kind of conversation? Did you guys bond over the gossip of someone else? All these things matter. You meet a friend in the salon. What were you guys discussing? Was it someone else's life? So because how you meet also matters to what we carry the friendship on. And so when I say core values, you have to evaluate the things that matter to you. What are the kind of gist that you enjoy? What are the kind of conversations you truly enjoy? And then find like minds. When you know what you enjoy, you're going to know the kind of places to go to. We're talking physical now. Blossom shared with us how we need to come out of our phone. So you know the kind of places to go to. And it doesn't mean when you go to those places, everybody there is okay and everybody is prim and proper. No. But you then now would need to sift using boundaries, using standards, and it's sort of one or two other things as well. Of course, core values need to be inside this mix to be able to choose how close a person can get to you or how close you can get to a person. But it's totally workable before you move to the next question, to have friendship without jealousy and drama in between. It doesn't mean that people do not falter or do not fail, but it just shows the human part of it, and we don't need to cancel social connection amongst us as women because of people's failures. There are ways and boundaries to be able to keep things moving in a healthy manner, even when a person does things that you do not like.
Thank you very much. That was deep. Okay, I hope a lot of women are learning this, because I totally agree with what Sejinel said. A lot of women. I want to take myself for an example, but I'm not entirely like that. I tend to stay away from social connections with women. I'd rather have it with the men, because you see, when you're so bonding with women, if you are not careful, I don't know, is now like I won't say stereotype. It's like it's a norm for women to always bond more when they are gossiping, and that shouldn't be. It's like when you have nothing to say, you start discussing other people, and you don't even discuss like you want to help them. You discuss like you're shading them, and once the person you're talking about appears, you see the way women snap back like they were not even talking about you. It's so scary. That is why I needed to pick this up, because it's very important that we can actually socially connect to ourselves and still help ourselves. So I'm going to ask you in relation to men from another angle. Yes, a lot of women have known some men, like some very top-notch men, top officials, people in power and authority, But you see, there is a stigmatization that comes with you as probably a young lady, knowing so much of these people in power or so much of these people in authority, because they feel like you didn't get that social connection by socializing. You got it from the other way, either by meeting them, or sexual roles and all of that, not by friends, or not by, I don't know, career or whatever. It's just something they tend not to believe. I want to ask, why do you think, if I come out for example and say, I know President Bola Ahmed Tinubu now, like sometimes I visit him as I am, a lot of people start saying, president, they'll believe something must have happened with some certain persons in power that I know such a person. And you know why men are saying that? Women are the one that will easily spread that rumor around. It's very easy for them. Why do you think it is so, and how can we change that notion that all women that knows people in power, or they are even in power, like we have some very strong women in power, they did this by their own and not by that kind of connection that people tend to believe that we have?
Thank you. I think one of the strongest way we can start out, the lowest hanging fruits in terms of the solution to this particular problem, will be women who have gotten to that space being kind enough to be transparent with their stories. Because what we have seen happen, because there are two categories of people. We truly have those who climb their way up through sexual favors, exchanging back and forth. But we really have those who are climbing their way up through their brains and through the value that they're also adding to these men and those people in power, because they're like, hey, this woman, and there's nothing sexual is going on. But of course, because unfortunately the ones who are using sexual favors to climb, their stories leak out and it's popular, like they say, bad news spread very fast, and everybody's hearing about it. It's just the thing, is the stain that unfortunately affects everybody that then now knows people in power, because everybody's now using the assumption based on the general knowledge out there, forgetting that beyond the general knowledge there's always the behind the scene narrative that you do not know. So if women can come out, women who are succeeding and are friends with these men in power, these people in power, and are also climbing through to getting the power, it's through to the state of power in their own field and industry, can come out to share their stories, that would help. What I find is that some of these women, people like us have to now bring them out for interviews, and even if for some of them they're not even ready to share those parts of the story, because not for anything, they're just like they don't want to, or they're not ready to, or they're too busy. That's another problem. They're too busy. So there are one or two women, I think there are a few percentage of women that are out there that are sharing their stories. They're actually sharing, oh, this is how I got into power, with a clean slate, in a healthy manner, no drama. Those kind of stories, what we can then now do is we can try to amplify it, because with such women who are climbing up power with the genuine and right kind of standard and values, you have them inspiring other people as well to know that, oh, you don't have to sleep with somebody or force your way through a position to be able to get to a man with power, or be friends with a man with power, or have a position of power. So that storytelling of women who have gotten there would really help I think that would be one of the best things that would help, because what you asked is about the narrative, and that's how to tweak the narrative. Of course, and those who are also climbing, even if you're not there yet, if you could share your story. But the thing is, nobody wants to share their story until they have gotten there, and that's understandably so. I hope that this answered the question.
Yes, that answers it very well and thoroughly. Thank you very much. I think it's a two-way thing. Yes, there are some persons that have made it look like that we women, when we tend to be there, is because we've done some certain nasty things. And of course, the people that have even done it genuinely, they connected with people, their hard work, their sweat got them to where they are. People still tend to, you know, rub it off from them because of what other women has placed on ground. So this is just to say that women, when you want to make that connection, I don't know, there's this saying that people say, you use what you have to get what you want, but now they've turned it the other way, now using their body. Your body is not a tool to get what you want. I think your hard work, your head, your brain, what is in your brain, what your hands can do is what is termed as hard work. Anyway, I want to ask Success this one. How do you think social media has impacted the way how do you think social media has impacted the way women tend to connect with women? You know, I don't know, a lot of women, okay, see some women on Instagram, on Facebook, and you know, they're already looking at her as a very, you know, I don't know, they already have a perfect image of whoever they are seeing. And so when they get to see the person in question, like the person in person, they tend to expect that same perfection. Like, okay, take for example, we have a lot of celebrities. They have their personal lives, they have their differences. You can't have all the good characters, to be honest. There will be some very crazy, you know, not and all of that. But you see sometimes when we see women like that in person, and you see they have issues, you know, people are probably recording them without even them knowing. Maybe they are eating outside, and because they're a celebrity, they expect them to use the fork and knife, and they should not use their hands. And for the celebrity, I want to live a normal life, is probably using their hands. And at that point, you start seeing people start talking down on them. At that point, it's now very difficult for even a normal woman to want to relate with such a person, because they'll be like, oh, I thought she was picture perfect, image perfect, and you know, in reality she'll be perfect, but that is not what it is. So there's another kind of image we see women as on Instagram, on all the social media pages, and in reality it's as though the reality is different from, you know, what we're expecting them to be. So I just want to ask, how do you think social media has really affected most of our connections with ourselves as women?
Oh, interesting. So you actually answered the question you have already, because the truth is, I usually would tell people, particularly when I'm relating with teenagers who are the highest users of social media, agree with me, but not everything on social media is as it is. Not everything you see on social media. So we must begin to embrace. And if I get your question right, you're asking how do I think it affected, you know, the social connection and maybe the way we perceive people and the way we think. It has affected it so bad. Not what I mean so badly now, in the sense of both positively and negatively, to the extreme. Because the way you see people on social media, some people actually have that originality. I know a couple of people who are not even out there as influencers. I mean, that's not the primary in social media. But I could say these are people who are truly influential beyond social media, and they are really original to the core. I know a very good number of people I follow on Instagram, for example, and I know that they are exhibiting their originality. But again, you know, for people who exhibit their originality, we may even have seen only a fraction of that originality that we may think we know. You know, I want to believe that people need to begin to embrace their originality first, and you need to begin to know that the grass is always on the other side. You need to begin to have that understanding as a woman because most of the time this is why many women go into depression, begin to develop different mental health disorders, because there is a way they are seeing their fellow women and they feel like, oh, I want to be like her, I want to be like her. You don't have to be like her, just be yourself and be the better version of yourself. So I really think that social media has actually misconstrued the image of some people and help us to not see them in true light. And there are also some people that are truly original and we're not seeing the full extent of their originality. So it's a two-way point.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that one. So I'm just going to ask, to round up the section of interview, I'm going to ask you, then I'll ask Sejinel before we wrap up. Now, my question is, what do you think women should do to make sure they build that social connections? Where should they go? What should they do? How should they go about it? And how do you think is the best way to maintain it? And while maintaining it, you're away from gossip, you're away from rumors, away from negative and the bad vibes. How do you think they can go about this? Because we women, we need that social connections. That is where we actually can get that women supporting women. And I know we'll say mindset and all of that, but how we have some people that have the good mindset, but they don't know how they can actually connect with some certain women so that they can actually even be a better version of who they actually are. Success, that's for you in a few minutes.
Yeah, actually, basically, that's the foundation. But away from mindset, more practically now, you need to first of all perceive yourself as a person of value, and what that means is work on yourself first. I really love what Sejinel said, that she has a core value, and over time she has attracted people with similar values, and that's just the way it works. That's the way it works. If you're going to say, okay, I'm going to have friends who will not be gossipers, in quotes, who will not be people who are backbiters and all of that, you must build that value within yourself first. You attract what you are. So you must first build value. You must first be a person of value to be able to attract good people, to be able to attract amazing connections that will help you to thrive in life and go further even in your career, in your business, and in your personal life. And that's the first. Another very important thing is many women will just sit down at home. I mean, I go to events, I go to summits, I go to conferences, and just taking a rough estimate of an head count, you would see that the male counterparts are way more than the female counterparts. I was at a World Summit, I think 2 weeks ago with my husband, and I could see the number of men that were flocking in and out of the event center as compared to women. Women, we need to go out. We need to step out of our house. We need to begin to attend, events, even in your industry, whether you are in the business field or whether you're a career person, a 9-to-5 person, or you're in entrepreneurship. You need to step out, connect with like-minded people in your industry. There are so many events that are ongoing. Once you get online, you begin to connect with certain people in certain fields. You will see different events in your industry. Go out for events. That's also one of the ways to make those social connections that we really, really need as women. Another very important way is volunteering. Give back to the society, and the society will. So you must be a person of value. You must go out. You must be very intentional about connecting with people. Be very, very intentional about giving value. When you do, you begin to see that you begin to attract people of high value. From there, it gets better. There are many other things, but those are really very good.
Oh, thank you very much for that one. I love your 3 points, and they are very major. So finally, let me ask Sejinel. This is just for you to advise women that already have that connection. Now, why I'm saying this, because there are some women that have the connection, but they are, will I use the word stingy? They are stingy. They are so, let me use stingy and protective, or overprotective, actually, not even being protective, overprotective of the contact they have. They don't even want any other person to have that contact. They don't want to. It's not. Yeah, I know there are some clause to that. Some people like, oh, it will spoil my image. They'll know she's from me, and if she misbehaves, it spoils my image. They'll say, okay, see the kind of friends you have, and all of that. And some of them are scared that when they introduce this person to the contact, the person can now hijack the contact and even do marvelously well with that contact than they have. So I know most men, it's very easy for them. They want to connect you. No, I know one guy now. I'll take you to him. It's very easy for guys to want to connect their fellow guys. But you see, for women, we will keep it, even if we're not using that contact. We have it, but we will keep it in our phone. We will not even use it until maybe, in fact, the connection that you think you have with that person will just fizzle out. And when you be calling the person like, oh, I can't remember, please remind me. Do you understand? So what advice will you give to women in this category that already have that social connections, but yet are too overprotective of their connection and not wanting to share with other women?
That's an interesting question, and I like the point that Success made. Well done. I really enjoyed learning from that point. Okay, so I know that most of it's like, hey, don't even say no. You didn't say don't say, but you're like beyond mindset. But for this set of women, for this question, their mindset is one critical thing that is affecting them. And what are the things that shape their mindset? Mindset is not just some mystical things up in the air that we're talking about. Is the experiences as well, and also the kind of knowledge and wisdom the person is interacting with to reshape their thinking and life's outlook, their perspective. So most people do this as a result of fear. Maybe somebody, if you check back, it may not even be their personal experience, but some is that somebody has stolen, in quotes, even though can steal a human being, but that's a different conversation. Their contact or their friendship, or they got a friend that they referred to someone, and then the person got closer than they are, or they've seen it happen, maybe with their mother or their sisters or whatever, or even a friend, that they're like, I don't even want this to touch me. So they start behaving in this way. They don't want to give out contact. So I would say the mindset, and you need to remember that life is beyond anything that we are holding on to in this life. So the outlook you have on life matters. If you know that, respectfully, that today you can be here, tomorrow you might be gone, and how do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be a person who never shared things with people? That is going to inform on the kind of decision that you're making. To balance that out, it's important that we also share here that there's the importance for boundaries. You can't just be distributing people's numbers out because they just came to you and they're like, oh, do you have this person's contact? No, absolutely not. Because people do not want their contact to just be distributed out there. I just got somebody who updated me with a UK number. Of course, I was formerly on the number that it was the general number before she sent me a private number. If somebody says, oh, do you know XYZ person's number? You are going to answer a list of questions, because I'm not just going to give out that number because this person doesn't want that to happen. So the boundaries thing is still a thing that needs to be respected, and those who then now want those contacts and want to come into such relationship, like Success said, have to really show the kind of value that they're offering. It's not begging. So we're talking friendship now. We're not begging to say, please let me be your friend. But it's more of it's a value. Life is all about value exchange. It's the point of the value that you have to offer, and to really show that you have this person's best interest at heart. And there are different ways to show that before we even get to get your number. The truth is, I think, personally, at this phase that we're in, we are beyond somebody is not giving you the contact of somebody, you are stranded. No, maybe 20 years ago, but now there are different other ways you can show yourself. You can reach out. Success was talking about getting into conferences. I even wrote here, stepping into communities. Are there alternative ways that you can also get in touch with this person beyond a person's contacts, or beyond a person being the gatekeeper of a contact? I think that would be alternative great ways that can be considered. But as for these people who have such mindsets, it's even beyond friendship. It's a mindset of limitation. You think that people want to collect things from you. You don't have the thinking that there's more than enough, and you are not thinking in a bigger manner that you are a blessing to others by being connections. And it's something that person needs to fix, because if you don't fix that, beyond friendship, is going to actually affect other areas of your life. And since we are closing at, I just wanted to add something to the question you asked, success. And I want to say it's about women also being proactive and learning to bloom beyond their breakups and their hurts. We have to continually understand that vulnerability and being proactive and open to even initiating friendship is an important part of this process. Can't keep waiting and say, this person hurts me, well, let me just be by myself. You step into communities, you are a ghost. You step into conferences, you are in one corner. Life cannot continue like that. So you have to then be proactive. If you need to read a book, if you need to seek therapy, anything you need to do, you need to keep going, because the person who wants friends must be able to show themselves friendly.
Okay. Thank you very much for that one. That was deep, and you actually did justice to that question, because obviously it's a thing of boundary, and at the same time it's a thing of mindset, depending on where the woman stands. At this point, I just want to appreciate Success, Olaleya Suyo, and Sejinel for joining us on today's program. And our usual ritual is that you wave us a goodbye with a big smile while we let you go. Bye. Thank you so much. Yes, and that's it from Success, Olaleya Suyo, who's the Program Director for Food Engine Initiative FAGI, a teen coach, an empowerment advocate, and also Nkechi Emmanuel Layode, who is popularly known as Sejinel, a relationship and family life specialist, a certified counselor, author, speaker, and teacher. And that's all. We appreciate them for coming, and thank you, my viewers, for also joining us. It's been a fabulous section with you. We'll call it a wrap today as we wait for the boss to join. And the boss to start up, and of course I'm still the one going to be hosting today's edition, because it's Friday edition, which is, thank God it's Friday. It's all about entertainment, and keep it locked up, because we might have another artist for you today, whereby, you know, we play music, you enjoy yourself, we just relax and talk about what has been going on in the entertainment world. Until then, on Monday definitely is when Women's Corner is coming your way again. Till then, do have a beautiful day, and bye for now.